leaving. I go, am?
Hello.
Good morning.
We're back. I say we're back because I hit the first go live and it poofed Joe out. And I'm like, where did Joe go?
Look at this, it's 10:03. It's like we're not supposed to do this until 10:03. No matter what happens every single week, 10:03 is our start time.
Apparently, yeah.
It's like the weirdest thing. No matter what we do, no matter what we try, somehow we end up here at 10:03.
Yeah. And so, like today, the universe was like, "We got to kick Joe out for a second, so she won't hit that second go live button." So it'll exactly
Let's get rid of him.
Oh, the universe and spirit.
But today we have Joe as our guest. Joe, you're a very interesting guy, stalking all of your things. You've been in the paranormal world for a while.
Too long. I think too long. It's kind of scary. I mean, I'm much older than both of you put together. I started in 1986. Graduating high school in the 80s, we had to write a thesis to graduate and place it into the library. And that's how I got started in this, because I chose my mentor was my science professor. We used to call him the redheaded Einstein. And he told me to think outside the box. I don't want anything straight and narrow. And I said, okay, I could do that. And 1986 is 2 years past Ghostbusters and all those horror movies and paranormal movies. And I decided to take it to a different level. And I did the thesis. And at the end of the year, he looked at me and said, I like it. This is interesting. And he took me on my first investigation, because he actually had a society through the University of Buffalo. And I got to attend my first investigation in May of 86, and I was hooked. It had everything I wanted, meaning through research, technology, and just performing an actual investigation of seeking something that is of the supernatural. And he had me from there, and here I am in my 50s going, what happened? Where'd it go? What have I done with my life? But
it hasn't corrupted you like it has a lot of people.
You know, I have a checkpoint. I keep it straight and narrow, where I'll have my paranormal life, and then I have my life. And as you can see, I have my Christmas tree up here. There's no paranormal around me. On my days off, where I'm home with the family, I don't bring anything into this house that I don't have to. And for that reason, it just gives me the separation of the two. So I live two different lives. During the day, I go to the paranormal store, and I'm in heaven. I think it's the greatest thing in the world. I'm sorry?
You kind of have to in these fields. Like anybody that says they don't live that way. I mean, there are people that don't, and it's definitely corrupts them in a sense. But if you don't separate all of it, whether it's paranormal or healing work or readings, and have like that life and a personal life, it really does kind of.
It's a balance. I know it's hard to balance life as it is, but I think I have it down, and I should write a book about how to have balance in this field.
You should.
Just because
you really should.
You're
retired to be a counselor.
Yeah.
You can be a para-counselor.
Yeah, I'll be the counselor. But yeah, it's a fun thing. It's the last discovery we have of the unknown. There's no more land to discover. There's nothing else. This is basically the new Christopher Columbus exploration across whatever we're doing. It's something that we still can't prove today, but it's still there. That's like saying, I have a bank account with all this money in it. It's not here, but it's in the bank. I don't have it here. I can't show you the money, but it's over there. And I think that's where we are now today. And again, I'm older. We got beaten up in the 90s and the early 2000s. We were known as the crazy people. Why are you doing this? And today, the younger generation, I think, has it a little bit easier because they're not taking those punches in the back. They can go out and explore more. They can do more. And hopefully, and I truly believe the next generation is the one's going to crack the code.
I have noticed with my store, a lot more people coming in asking questions. Though sometimes it's a 50-50 whether or not they'll come in. I'm like, can we help you with, what might you be looking for? And they're like, I have a crazy question. And I'll try to lighten that mood for them. I'll just kind of like look around and I'm like, have you noticed where you are? Welcome to the crazy group,
Welcome to crazy.
So, I agree that it seems to be more acceptable now, and it just continues to become more open and accepted in the community.
I agree. I think we broke the 50% mark too. I think we're a little bit north of 50%. Again, you just take 15 years ago, we were probably at a 30% where people would believe, where people can accept it, can have a conversation about it. Now I think we're north of 50, and that's pretty good. And by saying that, I mean, I'll get conversations with people.
I lost you guys. Oh, are you back? I don't know if it was just my internet or if it's everybody's.
I don't know. I'm hoping I'm still there.
No, you're good. I think
Okay.
Kayla's connection may be goobered. Everything else
they've been messing with our internet. So like, it's been like 2 weeks now that Spectrum's been here messing with things. So we never know when they're going to completely crash. So if need be, if it goes down, I will switch over to my phone and just use that.
Okay. Yeah, I tell you, it's technology. There's the prime example. It's so fragile.
Yeah.
At any given time, it can drop, and we're all going to go chaos.
Mm-hmm.
And it's. Can you imagine losing everything? Power, the web, everything. No social media, nothing.
We'd have to like talk like normal people. No more texting. No more
face to face. Can you imagine that? Like, who are you?
Like messages on cave walls again, not on Facebook walls.
Well, you mentioned briefly earlier, Joe, going to your store. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your store? I'm going to put the link for the website for it in chat. So if people want to go check it out, and I recommend you do, you can open that in a new tab, hear Joe talk about it while you go through his website.
It's our Western New York gem.
We hit 8 years this year in October. When I first started, this goes back to 2016, where I was prepping to do an early retirement. And I had conversation with my wife, and I said, what am I going to do? And she says, well, you always wanted to do retail or run your own business. And I had business plans drawn up. I've done things like that. And I said, I want to do something fun, something creative. I don't want to open up like a basic mom and pop shop. I wanted to do something that I enjoyed. And we decided to go with Paranormal Oddities just because it was new and it was different. There was nothing else in the area like dealing with paranormal store. And I said, what the heck? Let's give it a shot. And in 2017, I leased a small building, real small. I think it was 30 by 30. And we used to call it the Para Shack. And it launched, and I enjoyed it. It took off. Our events were held in the middle of the store, maybe 5 people at a time. It was something that I truly enjoyed. And 2 years later, we outgrew that location. And I was in search of something a little bit bigger. And right across the street, a place popped up that I knew that was haunted. It's an 1890s historical building in Depew. And I took it. I decided to take that chance and let's try the upgrade. And then 2 years after that, I decided to rent the other half of the building and open up a venue by cutting 3 brick walls to get over the other side to connect the two. And it's been an extreme pleasure. I can't put it into words. Being your own boss is something special. you're the front line, and then you're the end result too. So you're wearing all these hats, you're making these decisions. People count on you. You have incredible clients, customers, and it's something you get used to. And with me being my age, you fear that day that you have to hang that sign up saying closing soon. I'm not saying I'm closing soon, but 8 years in, I did not imagine this to go 8 years. I was figuring 5, and it would probably fizzle out. Here we are 8 years later, and stronger than ever. I'm at the crossing point right now of signing a new lease. It's up in 26, so we started the negotiations, and we'll see where that goes. But I think it's gonna work out. It's a store. There's a lot of metaphysical shops out there, which I love. I love metaphysical all over. I didn't want to step on anyone's feet when I did the store. And what I want is to offer something that would give you a taste of the metaphysical, a taste of voodoo, a taste of Wiccan, and a taste of paranormal. And I wanted it all underneath one roof, something of that order. I studied voodoo, so I could handle the voodoo. A lot of my friends helped me with the Wiccan side of things and the metaphysical side of things. But I took onto it quickly. I love to study, all religions. I believe every religion leads into one, and that's what's important, I think, to all of us, that we believe in something. It's been a journey it's hard to put in words. Now, you're a business owner. You know that feeling of accomplishment. Even if you made $1 that day of profit, you made a profit that day to keep that business open. That will open the following day. And that $1 grows to 2, and the 2 grows to 4. And you watch it snowball into something positive. And again, Paranormal Oddities is a different type of entity. We keep the profits in the store. I'm retired. We keep it there, and that's why it's grown so big, where we can offer these events. We can offer the products that people were in search of. I can reach across the world and pull in product from Europe, Asia, South America. We can bring them into Buffalo just because of that. It's kind of cool. I wish my dog is trashing the place.
Usually we have cats doing things, so
Okay,
putting a dog into the mix is just fine.
I probably shouldn't go in the tree yet, but it's something remarkable. And if I can give anyone advice out there, if people say, "Oh, you can't do it, you'll never do it," don't believe it. Get out there. I
got pulled at for the first 3 years, and I just separated from everybody. Well, I kind of disappeared.
Yeah.
One of my things I absolutely love about you is you're so all-encompassing. You're not judgmental. You're not cliquey. You're there for everybody. And
life is good.
I know I can reach out to you. We could not talk for months, years, and I could reach out and be like, "Hey, what do you think about this?" Or "What about this?" And you're not you're not judgmental. You let everybody in, and there's a lot of shops that are cliquey and they have their circles and things, and I'm not like that either, which is why I separated from the community. And
and it's a sticky situation too, because you don't want to step in anyone's feet. You don't want to insult anybody. You don't want to, I hate, like you said, the cliques. I believe in bringing everyone through the door. Let's stop in, have a conversation. I'm going to say probably 60% of my day at the store is conversation with people. And I kind of dig that. I'm kind of lucky. I get to talk to incredible people that walk through the door, all different types of beliefs and social events and things like that, where you can just open up and have a conversation. And I always tease people because I'll sit behind the counter. I got a little stool I'll sit on. And they say, "Well, I hope to see you tomorrow." And I'm like, "Yeah, I just deflate behind the counter and I reflate in the morning." I'm one of those types of people. Being closed today is a family day. but I'm already getting emails coming in this morning saying, can I get this? Can I stop in? I told them they can probably come in after 6 o'clock. I'll open for a couple hours for people because I know it's near the holiday and a lot of people want to do things. But owning a store, being the creative one, being the accountant, being the lawyer, being everything, the management, I kind of like it. I really do. And anyone who's watching, go do it. Get it done. It doesn't mean you have to have a brick and mortar. You can do an online shop. You can do anything, but be in control of who you are and what you are. Spread your creativity. And remember that there are going to be some difficult people out there that, I'm not saying jealous-wise, but they wish they had what you had. Share the knowledge. Help them out. Help them get into the field if they're looking to get into the field. It just makes for good karma, and I believe in that. Karma is number one. What goes around comes around, and I will always stay positive towards people, no matter what it is. Life is good. It's on my receipt. Every time someone prints it up, it says right in the bottom, life is good, because it is. We're here. Let's enjoy our time.
I mean, even the worst day working for yourself is still better than doing it for somebody else, right?
Isn't that the truth? It really is. And people say,
you have nobody else to blame for it, but
yeah.
Nobody else caused the problem either.
That's right. That's absolutely right. You don't get yelled at in the morning unless you look in the mirror and say, "What are you doing?" But it opens
my
it up.
boss is a bitch. She didn't let me take off today.
I always say that to my wife. I go, let me ask my boss if I can have the day off today. I look over my shoulder. I say, can I? Yeah, you can have it. I'm like, see?
You get an extra 15 minutes for lunch. Don't push it.
Yeah. Oh, well, being a business person, every time you heat something up, forget it. You ain't eating it. It's good. You're going right back out there, which I love.
The minute I put food in the microwave, the minute I change the music playing in the store, I'm like, nobody's been in for like an hour. I'm going to put on like corn or something.
Yeah.
Halfway through the song is when they come in and I'm like, okay, note to self, universe, got it.
Yes.
Like, well,
and I'll joke around. I'll just throw anything in the microwave and hit start and say, wait for the ding dong, the door opens. It's like, it works.
Like a vortex of the universe. Microwaves are a vortex.
Mm-hmm.
But Melanie asked a little while ago when we were starting to talk about ghost hunting. She's like, do kittens swatting at the equipment count as for getting any sort of evidence? Because Melanie has cats and is into the paranormal. And currently, one of her cats is sitting on her lap watching us because
I think cats are just their own paranormal entity.
Now,
all the realms, all the planes, all the dimensions, all the galaxies at the same time.
And now we had asked Joe for you to provide maybe like one of your favorite pieces, and this was a pic that you had sent over. So what exactly is the SBE alien and how can people use it in paranormal investigations?
Yes, this is something I've been building since 2000. It was like 1999, 2000. I keep all my gear that I built. And this is something that again, you got to keep an open mind when you run something like this. But in the long run, after running it for a while, you see the results. What this does, first, let me take a step back. I believe in frequency is everything we do. Frequency is number one of communications, the sound waves, all different types of waves, even through megahertz, gigabytes, things like that. Everything is based on frequency. So back in 1997, it was called the Frank's box. Frank Sumption came up with a theory of scanning frequency at a high rate. You can hear spirits talk. And I was like, that's interesting. And so I started studying it back then. And we noticed there was a hidden frequency under everything we do. So if you're running 900 megahertz, and a prime example is the old telephones that in the 80s used to take the antennas, pull it out, and you'd be real cool, walk down the driveway and say, hey, look what I got, no cord. That ran at 900 megahertz. And people were picking up disembodied voices, baby monitors, same thing, 900 megahertz. So with radio frequency, again, it's open. It's basically antennas everywhere. Now, it's a little bit different today because now we're dealing with Wi-Fi signals and things like that. You can literally hear conversations of something that isn't there. And what does that mean? There are two different types of entities you can pick up with the Spirit Box Enhancer. You can pick up, I call ones local that are around you. You can hear them talk. And the second one is actually pulling something in. It's almost like a Ouija board. You take the Ouija board, you communicate through the Ouija board. It doesn't mean that the spirit or the entity is with you. You're actually pulling it in. And we clocked the session of this box 4 minutes. You can hold a spirit for 4 minutes. And that's the max, is 4 minutes. And my friends and I, when we do our thesis and we write all these papers on this, it's because the earth clicks 1 degree every 4 minutes. We're moving. So if you're pulling in, they're not. So if you're moving, they drop out. You want to be able to keep pulling them in. Now, if it's a local, something that's with you, they'll sit there and talk to you for forever. I use the word pickle. I ask people or spirits to repeat the word pickle. And if they say it, then I know I have something. And I'll continue. And I have a little stopwatch. I'll click the stopwatch and I'll know, okay, can you see me? Can you, obviously you can hear me, but can you see me? And if they say, yes, I can see you, I'll put Scrabble tiles down. I'll change the word up and I'll point to it. And I said, if you can see me, you know what I'm pointing to. And if they can read that word, then I know they can see me. Not only hear me, but see me, so they're within range. And what this Spirit Box Enhancer does, an ITC is a device that scans frequency at a high rate. You can hack old radios, do things like that. I like the SB7, the Spirit Box ones. They're easy. They actually make them for paranormal research. What you're going to do is that you scan at 150 milliseconds where it'll scan through radio, but you're going to get the radio breaking in and out. And what this device does, it's going to take that radio frequency and we're going to squish it down. We're going to decimate it. We're going to bring it in. So you're not getting much radio. So now my bands, I'm still scanning that frequency at a high rate, but it's narrow, it's small, and that's my window to talk to someone. And by doing that, it's like boosting the underlying frequency, bringing it up. You'll get conversations. Usually the first is, who's there? Who am I talking to? And the more you decimate, you close out the radio. Sure, you might lose some of the spirit communications, but you want those strong ones to talk to at first. And it's mind-blowing because if I say, can you please repeat the word pickle if you're with us? You'll hear it. Pickle, pickle, and you'll hear different voices say it. So you know you have a multiple of entities or spirits, or God for knows, maybe it's an alien ship above us. We don't know who we're talking to. And with this box, it decimates. So I take it through the back of the box. You're going to see 2 guitar pedals. And this is a honeytone amp. And the reason why we use the honeytone, it actually has a gain control. So I can really enhance that underlying frequency. You have a sharp volume control. So you don't need a booster on it because I take it from a decimator and it transfers over to a reverb pedal. And what the reverb pedal does, so if I were to scan a frequency, get this yes, no real quick, it'll just stretch that yes and no out just enough so you can pick it up and you can record it. And usually you get these little short bursts. I like the ones where you get a full sentence. So if I'm scanning at a frequency that's flying by at me, and I ask a simple question and I get, hey, Joe, you're still ugly. And I'll laugh and I'm saying, that's what I want. I want to hear stuff like that. I've been called every name in the book with this device. And the more you use it, the more in tune it's going to be to your frequency. Because again, we all have our own frequencies. You'll see a difference. Just by turning it on, you'll hear a name. You'll hear your name called out, like where you been. And that's when you know you have a local. someone around you. These devices are fully rechargeable. You can do the Estes method with it. It has a headphone jack. And what makes that even more special is that you can use the controls on the back to decimate, to increase reverb. So you're not blowing your ears out with headphones on with the white noise going. You can actually take that white noise and suppress it. It just makes it easier for you to hear the communications. Like I said, this is fully rechargeable. So one switch on, it powers the entire unit for about 10 to 15 hours. And that's what you want. You want durability, you want portability, and you want your to have the distance. So you're not changing batteries out every 20 minutes. And this is something I've been working on. It's slowly been improving. And this Alien now comes with the laser grid built into it. Where now if you put it like on a table and you're doing a session, I can cast laser onto the wall, a red laser beam, not a green, because green affects your pupils. You don't want to use green in the field just because you want your eyes dilated. You don't want them shut off because you won't see as much. And you can ask spirit to walk within the safe zone. And I always say there's a safe zone right here. And you'll be shocked what cuts through the laser sometimes. I was at the Wildwood Sanitarium, and I used it before I went live, and I said, I have a safe zone behind here, and it actually moved the grid, and I was shocked. I'm like, wow, it's not afraid. It understands. And I think the red light, they don't see as much, meaning green, it's a different light spectrum. I think they see that. I believe they see infrared, how we can't see infrared, but I believe they can. So lately, a lot of my lives have been using a deep red light. It gives me a little bit easier to see the shadows. You can see them better on the live feeds than through night vision. We're actually getting to the point to where it's making sense now. I believe their light spectrum is totally different than ours. Again, they don't have eyes. We do. So I think things have changed for them. But this spirit box will open it up. It'll help you communicate with them. And it's maybe a 6x6 square. And that's all it is. And it's all put together with different parts, grounding wires, make sure they're shielded, reverse polarity so everything runs right. There's no interference in it because I make sure the cables I use, I wrap some of the cables myself. I'll shrink wrap them because I want the extra shielding. I don't want to pick up, say, for instance, a Wi-Fi in the other room because everything now is acceptable to Wi-Fi. And it's a shame. And I always give the advice for people who are investigating, invest in a $20 Faraday blanket. So if you go to a location and they're running a Wi-Fi system, just take the blanket and lay it over it. That'll take that signal and reduce it by at least 80 to 90%. So you're going to get better EVPs. You're going to get better results through a visual and through Spirit Box. We just have too much different frequencies in the air, especially 5G. 5G is a very thick band. People say it doesn't affect you as much. I believe it does. That's like take the door off your microwave. Then you don't need it anymore. You know, it's one of those things. We just have to be smart when we're doing paranormal because we're up against new obstacles than we had maybe 15, 20 years ago. But the SBE, the Alien, is a creation that I truly love because this device will take 90% of the radio out right off the bat. It's not like the other ones where it's only about 40% of the radio. We're up to 90. And this one is, like I said, I had 10 of them, all 10 sold. They're gone. And
now,
I have to get more parts. Yeah, just like that. 1, 2, 3 through the door. We want one. We want one. And I've been showing them. And I said, you're always welcome to come back to the store in the venue when we're not here. You can run it in here. We can go over it more after the holidays. And I was excited about it for them. And again, it's all theoretical. I can't say, yes, it's going to pull out a relative. But I've had clients come in and say, I use it for my mediumship or a digital seance. things of that nature. I had someone told me they put it on their kitchen table and they'll run it because they can talk to the deceased loved ones. And I'm like, oh. And I always tell them, sometimes spirit lies. They'll pretend to be someone they're not. But they insist that the code word that they established before they passed, they hear it. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my goodness, what am I doing? But we have all different models, but I'm trying to stay with just this model just because of the portability and it's easy to maintain.
Now, when do you anticipate having more available again?
I did place another order for certain devices to come in, but their ship date is not until after January. So probably mid-January, we'll have another stock of these. We do have an auction, a raffle happening where people can come in and buy tickets. We're actually going to raffle it off tomorrow. It's an SBE, but it's an older version of it, but it still works very well. But these aliens are rare, and the pedals that I use are extremely, extremely sensitive. The power supply for this device, because you're not only powering up pedals, you're powering up the actual amplifier. And again, 100% rechargeable. So you're not burning any batteries up. You just plug it in. It takes probably 2 to 3 hours to recharge fully, and you got 10 to 15 hours of straight use on it.
And anybody that's done paranormal work knows batteries get expensive really quick.
Exactly. And that's the last thing you want is saying, oh my gosh, I never went out and bought batteries. Here, before an investigation, it's one plug. One plug charges that entire thing. Zip it in the wall, let it go. You have flashing lights. When they're all 4, you are set to go. And even if you had 2, you can run it for about 4 hours. And again, it's a device that I'm truly happy with. If they come out with a better, I got my dog walking on the back of the couch balancing. Just so it's like, uh-oh. But
the energy of the show. Everybody's pets do weird stuff during this.
Yeah, it's like that's a first for me here. She's a puppy and she's exploring. But again, with something like this, it's not for everybody. I always tell them, you have a Ouija board and you have the spirit box enhancer. They can sit next to each other. They do the same thing, except you're not using yourself as the actual antenna for it. This is something you can place, leave it alone, talk to it. Make sure you have separation.
You're going to put me out of business.
Yeah. I sell the Ouija boards, but I always warn people, be careful. Yeah. Do you really want to use that? I go, if you want to talk to spirit, you can use your phone, get a dictation app, meaning a voice recorder, and just talk and see if it responds to you. You don't have to go out and buy all this top-notch stuff. Yes, this thing is getting pricier and pricier, but again, these cables are not cheap. The pedals are not cheap anymore, and it's a very small profit we make on this to put back in the store, and I think that's why they're flying off the door. And again, when you buy, we have it listed at $430, and it comes with a pair of Sony headphones, a laser grid, a blindfold, and an SB7. And an SB7 is $100 right off the shelf. It's all included. So when you walk out of there, you can do the Estes method. You can do all these fun things with this unit. There is nothing else you have to buy for it. And that's what makes it so special. And I think that's why they sold so fast too. I've been building these a long time. I have all these different creations. But I like this one just because of the portable. And you're not limited to that speaker. On the side, say you do have a large speaker, you can plug it in and it's going to go through the loudspeaker. I actually did it at an event where we were at a hotel and people wanted to hear this. I put it through the PA system through the building. And we ran Spirit Box through the PA system. And it was unbelievable. People were freaking out. They were talking on different floors. Can you hear me? And they were responding to them. So again, this is not just limited to this little portable thing. It's endless. And people keep asking, do I ship online? I don't right now, just because we had such a problem during the COVID. where we were shipping these out and people saying they weren't getting them. So I was taking the hits on them, and I just stopped. And I said, if you want it, you can come get it. Or you can send me a shipping label, sign off on something saying when I put it in the box, it's your responsibility. Because they're sought after. And I always tell people, keep an eye on them, because if you bring these in a public hunt, they are popular and people will try to take them, and that's a shame.
Yeah, we have friends that join us and rewatch this from all over the U.S. So they would use your contact info on the website if they want
Yes.
to get one of the ones in January.
Yes.
And get a hold of you and figure out that shipping
Yep.
thing.
What they can do is, again,
Like a road
send
trip.
me an email. And I always say in the subject, SBE or Spirit Box Enhancer. Let me know, and I pick it up, because I get hundreds of emails. And then you can say, I'm interested in this. And I send a form. You sign the release saying, once I drop in the box, it's your responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
Because they get people, and they get them. A lot of people get them. Because then I see them later on a live feed with the box, and they said they didn't get it. And it's like, okay.
Oh,
So-
yeah, it's shady people, and may the karma come back and get them. Now, you mentioned earlier a Faraday blanket. Do you sell those Faraday blankets there in your shop?
I do, but I am out of stock, because that's another popular item, and they're getting tougher to get because of the restrictions of security, meaning a lot of bad people are using them to cover up Wi-Fi so no one can alert anybody. It's one of those. Amazon still has them. You can go drop $20 there and you get I think it's a 6x6 or a 4x4 sheet. And it looks just like those things you put in your car windows to block the heat. It's reflective. It's similar to that. And you just lay it right over the Wi-Fi or anything you want to block a signal, and it works. The signals can't penetrate. It's a little bit of carbon fibers in there, and there's a reflective alloy, so the signal can't block. And you can use it for your cell phones too. I'm probably going to make myself a criminal on this one, but back in the day when we used to text and used to pay for texting, you guys might be too young for this. Back in
I remember that.
like 2007.
25 cents a text. Make it short.
We used to put on the inside of the case. Now, those were flip phones and slide phones. Mm-hmm. You can use real duct tape with aluminum. You put that in the back because your phone sends out a 5B file. And it couldn't, because that's how they check for your data. It sends out a file to the tower, comes back and says, okay, they use this is what they're using. So you wanted to block that one file from leaving your phone saying you just sent out 4 texts. The text will still go, but the file saying you sent it, you could block it, so you would have endless texting and things like that. Again, that was me being me, thinking, okay, I can do this. I can, this is what I think all day long. In my head, it's just a constant, how can I improve? How can I improve? How can I improve? I grew up in a household where my mom used to say, don't touch anything electronic in this house. Because I used to say I can make the toaster cook faster. We'll just increase the wattage on that one if we wanted to. And she's like, no. I ran speakers throughout the house. I used to power different types of cable throughout the house so everyone could have a TV. It would be rent free. We wouldn't have to pay for the cable. It's one of those things. I just love the challenge of electronics, of engineering. Seems to be my forte. I love schematics. I can read them all day. I want to understand how things work, and I'm getting a little slower now, but but that was my main thing. And that's how we develop things like this. The power supply on there, the conversion of 5 watts up to 9 volts. We built that chip, and it's popular now. You can go on Amazon and buy a unit like that. It's upgrading from 5 watts to 9 volts. It's unheard of, but it's doable. Mm. And that's how we run this unit, off of a basic cell phone rechargeable battery. That's all it is.
That's pretty cool.
And
Well,
it's-
you've mentioned that a couple times, and so my hamster wheels have the question of: have you noticed in all your years of investigating that rechargeable batteries are not as easily drained by paranormal entities as your Duracells, your Everlast, your store brand?
yeah, it depends on the battery. And people say, well, why do most paranormal gear use 9 volts, the 9-volt battery? Because they can't be drained. The cell's too massive in it. It's like taking a car battery on your investigation, putting it down, saying, let's use this 12-volt battery here, draw all the energy on it. It won't. It can't. Like cell phone batteries are 1.5 volts. Those little AAAs and AA's are 1.5. The easiest ones to draw, low voltage. And that low voltage is the same as if I was taking my hands and rubbing them on my sleeve, I'm creating static energy. That will give you the same power as a 1 AAA battery. Not as long, but it'll give you that boost. And I use this in my class all the time. I teach a paranormal. Paranormal doesn't have to be expensive. On cold days like this, where it's dry, cold, and your
We
skin
just make
gets
it that
dry.
way. Any hobbies, right? Any hobby can be affordable.
Oh, and it's my wife was, thank God you don't like the sport cars and anything like that, where I'm buying these big cars and stuff like that. That does. I used to like it, but not anymore. I'm more into this stuff. But a piece of styrofoam is perfect during this weather. You're going to take that styrofoam, turn it into a Van de Graaff generator. And a Van de Graaff generator is something we used to use in elementary, middle school, high school. It's that where you have the big silver ball up top and you would touch it and your hair would stand up. You want to create that as raw static energy. And that's what we need in this field. We don't want to pump this field full of EMF. And I see an EMF pump, I run. I get out of that room. It's pointless to run an EMF pump. We're not trying to fill that. They're not using that. They are emitting that. So it's like I'm breathing in oxygen. I'm exhaling carbon dioxide. They're absorbing some type of energy. We don't know, but we strongly believe it's static. Static energy is number one. That's everything is based on that type of. I kick my socks across the carpet here. I'm going to charge people up and shock them all over the room. So we want to create this. So you just take a piece of styrofoam. Styrofoam cups work the best. Rub it on your sleeve till it sticks to your hand. Start dropping them around. There's about a 10 to 15 minute window that cup is going to hold 1.5 watts. And spirit goes by, that cup's going to stick to it. You're going to see these cups start to dance. And sometimes you can see the manifestation of the entity. It's impressive, but I always tell people, don't do it in your house if you don't want to know.
Be careful what you ask for.
Exactly.
Or give me a call if you get into a problem.
Because some
Get a
people
dabble, you have a backup plan.
yeah. And I'm like, just if you live in a peaceful, just leave it alone. Because again, I believe paranormal's all the way around us. It's everywhere. Your home is your home. If you like it to have the activity, well, God bless you. If you don't want it, don't push it in your home. Leave it alone. But it works. And that's how you keep the paranormal cheap. I mean, this is something we wrote papers on back in the 90s. And it's still published in the University of Buffalo. I have something there still published. And it's kind of cool. And it's the old typewriter paper. It's garbage, but it's still there. And that's what the legacy I want to leave behind is these theories that people can apply to the field. And again, I'm older. I'm 57, 58. Geez. I've done the work. I've done my work. I'm ready to get that rocking chair out front there on that porch and tell kids to get off my lawn. I'm ready for that stage in my life. It's kind of cool seeing these young
We're
ones
at that
come up.
stage at our age too.
You guys are young. Get out of here. You guys are young.
You're not that much older than I am, Joe.
No, I think we're actually almost evenly spaced, aren't we?
Maybe. Yeah. Right in the middle between the two of you.
When you hit my age, everything hurts. It's weird.
I'm already there.
Are you?
Yeah, we're like 100 and 7. I don't know. We're in our
Once I-
hundreds at this point.
Once I hit my 40s, like it all went to hell. So, but I feel like, Joe, you're going to go from the paranormal inside buildings. You're going to be out in your rocking chair, and you're going to be the guy in the chair talking about the Appalachian, shit out in the yard, and be like, "Don't you whistle back at that?" Like.
Or I'll just open up a portal in the middle of the lawn and we can just watch paranormal right there all day long. But again, this is where we are, and it's fun. And that's the SBE. I no fancy name. It's really simple. Spirit Box Enhancer, meaning you can put any ITC device, any scanning device with this. It doesn't have to be an SB7. You can hack one, use it. People like to use apps. I'm anti-app because I know the programming. I know what's in these apps. And now today with AI, forget it. Mm-hmm. It can think quicker than you can react. And that's kind of the problem we're up against this. So that's why I'm kind of reverting back to old school, because there's so much AI involved. It's just a matter of time, because you look at some of these videos and you can have AI create anything you want. And this is where I would say, let's take a step back, use the basic tools, and get the investigation done if you're planning on doing something like that. I still do residentials and businesses, and I use video, meaning night vision, standard vision, infrared, or IR thermal cameras, and I use a high definition audio recorder. That's it. I go in, I ask my questions, I proceed, I set up static cams throughout the location, and I review. Will I use a spare box? Probably not. I don't want to pull in something and make the place worse. We don't know the technology. I see you got the paranormal gathering. Yeah, that's tomorrow night. We threw this one up fast because everyone wanted to do a holiday thing. Some people are bringing cookies. I'll bring some eggnog. If you want eggnog, I'll have coffee, hot chocolate. And it's
We're back to the bribe us with food.
Yeah. It's the best part, isn't it? That's what the holidays are for. Because come January, everyone's like, I'm done. I don't want anything like that. Let's move forward. But yeah, we're going to do this probably once a month.
Okay.
We're going to have a gathering of just theories. We can cross theories, and I love doing that. And I like to share my knowledge, and I'm still a sponge. God, I'll soak it in. I like to learn different things, and we can apply it to the field. And hopefully in about 10 years, we'll take this huge leap in a direction. And that'd be kind of cool, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the TV shows. They're entertaining, but you got to understand, they're TV. They got to sell that Pepsi and Taco Bell and their commercials. And it's just the way it is. Data is boring. I like data.
Now, do you have plans possibly in the future for anybody not local to New York to be able to join via like Zoom or some other way? Like our friend Melanie in Georgia, if she wanted to join you, like she could?
Yeah, what I'm thinking of doing is, like, for these paranormal gatherings, is having a live feed in the room. So the people who can't come, they can still take part. Where we could bring them in. I was thinking of a Zoom type of thing, but it only can hold so many people. And I have to be cautious of just certain things that can happen on Zoom too. But we would have that where we would have a chat board and a large screen TV where we can see people asking questions, chiming in and doing that. So if someone had a question, I can literally bring them live into a situation where everyone can see and hear them. Again, if we're going to do that, it'll probably happen in January. I do like to do that for people. I like to include people. That's why I do the live broadcasting too, because a lot of people can't get out and do this. And the live broadcasting means it's interactive with the people at home. You can ask EVP questions from the comfort of your own home. And that's what I like to do. I like to share it and get people involved. And that's what this young team is going out. They're going to do one Sunday night at the Wildwood. And I gave them the camera system to use and said, have some fun with it. and they're really good. They're good people.
I love that you do that too. Like that you like share the things that you create, because you did that for us when we went to House of Wills.
The
So I
spirit
can't
box.
remember what you sent
portal.
with us, but it was something that you had just finished working on. And if you remember, Melissa, that was when I got called pudding. And for those of you that tuned into our House of Wills episode that we talked about this, it was Joe that gave us one of his creations to take with us. And that was actually before you hit the shop, I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah.
Gosh, we're
It's
all
been a minute.
it's been a while.
minute.
Yeah. Yeah, because you got your shop around the same time when I got my house, and this was definitely before I had my house. But yeah, I got called, and you mentioned about the names, right? Like they'll start to remember names, or they'll bring things back up, the local energies. And I got called pudding. Well, everybody else was getting called like swear words and all sorts of things. And then I can't remember if it was your team or another team that you let borrow that same piece of equipment. They asked where pudding was, and it was only like a couple of weeks after we went there. But I can't remember if that was you guys or somebody different.
Yeah, there was it was part of my team, and there were some other people that went with them, and it kept asking that.
Yeah,
and we're like, wow.
Yeah, and then I remember you guys like messaged me and the other guy, and we're like, does anybody know what this is about? Because they keep asking, like, that was me. Like, we don't know why I got nicknamed that. What, Melissa, you got called a bitch, right?
Oh yeah, I get
of
called
course.
everything.
Yeah,
And you know
like,
what?
everybody
When
got
I
called.
hear that, it's reassuring. It's like, okay,
Right.
we have something.
I will say, like the EVP boxes, like that is my biggest complaint with them. And Joe, maybe you have a good theory why, or help me understand why.
Yeah.
Why is it? It's nothing 99% of the time, at least when I'm around, and maybe it's me, but it's just like cursing and just rambled, stupid cursing. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not buying any of this. Like,
Yeah, I sometimes you hit one that's just so upset that they had everything taken away from them. And I don't know if they're actually watching you live, and they're just F-bombing you and so upset with everything. And whenever I hear that, I'll say, let's all just take a deep breath and let's bring it down. I understand your struggles, your frustration. I always tell them, I'm not a god. I can't move you. I can't cross you. I can't bring you back. The only thing I can offer you is a chance to look back and maybe have a conversation. Because I always tell them, I'm going to be in your seat soon. I'm on the back nine of my life. This is what we do. And I always tell them, this is your chance to tell us about you. Tell us about your legacy. And it usually calms them down to where they'll say, okay, I was a dentist, or I was this, and I loved what I did. I had all this stuff when I was alive. And I always, especially in a house, if we do a house and there's haunting, and I think it's the previous owner, I always tell them, you had your chance here. You got to experience your beautiful home. And now it's their turn. It's the people who live here now. Let them enjoy it. And I'll be honest, it's been working. Where I had people say, we don't have any more issues. And everything is not a horror story. You know, when you go into a building, oh, they hung from the rafters. I hear people saying, it's like, okay, now my house is going to deteriorate one day. I built this thing. And when it goes 200 years down the road, are people going to come in here and say, oh, he used to drag dead bodies down the stairs? He used to. No.
That's one of my pet
Christmas
peeves.
tree. Yeah.
Like, everybody has these elaborate stories for things that aren't always the case.
Yeah. And it's start off positive, see if you get a reaction. Try to have a conversation. But I get it. The spirit box, yeah, we turn on sometimes, it's blah, 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 blah. And it's like, wow, we're having a bad day. And I get it. And I try to, have a conversation with them. And I mean, I'll leave these boxes running through the store all day, and they'll say, hey, Joe, there he is. And I'll walk into a room. I'm like, I'm right here going to do this. And I always joke, that's the restroom. No, everyone stays out of there, right? And I always have a sign, no spirits allowed in the restroom.
I had that issue with the old lady in my house. She so she had a home care aide and stuff. She hated showering. And when I first got in my house, she was like constantly, I'm like, okay, boundaries. Like, you can be crotchety around my house, but you are not climbing in the shower with me. Like, this is not happening. You didn't even like to shower when you're alive. You're not going to.
Yeah, it's just, that's a little on the creepy side. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
hey, I'll meet you back in the kitchen. We'll do
Yeah.
something there.
Can your box pick up elementals?
That we don't know. Whatever wants and chooses to speak will be heard. Now we get different levels of frequency and volume coming through. We might get a soft voice that struggles and says, "Do you hear me? Do you hear me?" And then you get this dominating voice that overshadows them. And this is the crazy part about it. You'll hear them arguing on the box, and it's like, oh my goodness, do they see each other? Are they there together? Why are they yelling at each other?
Huh.
And I'll say, we're all in it together. We all have our time. We can talk. And you'll hear them agree. Okay. And they're different tones. Because when I run these boxes, I'll run my spectrum analyzer so I can see frequencies and the different types of volume. It'll give me my voice is a different frequency than yours. We'll get that, and we can pin them so we know which one is talking. And I'll name them A, B, C, D, and I'll say, all right, whoever spoke this, you're A, you're B, you're C, unless you give me a name. And most of the time, they're going to yell a name at me. I'm Steve. And then it'll just, Steve, shut up, Steve. And you'll hear them arguing again. It's like, wait a minute, let's take it back.
That's going to be me, Melissa, when we're dead. Just
Yeah.
mess with them and argue.
Well, I asked because my store is pretty well guarded. Earthbounds aren't in there, but we have a couple shop spirits. One who likes to hang around a skull. And I'm like, I wonder if
He
I could
gets
take him
handsy
up.
with the women.
And I'm like, I wonder what would be coming out of him if he could be picked up on this thing. I would probably have to turn it off. Like, that is so inappropriate. Stop saying that.
Yeah. He gets handsy and
Yeah, that's the thing. You don't know. And there's some days someone will walk in and it'll say something inappropriate. And I'll look at it and I'm like, what are you doing? Yeah, you should. And you'll see the person look at me and say, what was that? I explained to them.
It was not me.
This is something we're doing. And they're like, oh, okay. And so some days I'll put it on, some days I don't. Where
you gotta admit though, if we're all like, when our time comes, we're gonna want to mess with people a little bit too. Because there's a little bit of joy in that. So we'll probably be the ones just blurting out random inappropriate things just for no reason. Like, oh, look at that sweet innocent person. And then just like blurt out something completely,
Exactly. So again, I love coffee. So if someone has coffee, I'm moving that cup towards me. That'll put them over the edge. It's just things like that. And I always tell people too, when I'm ready to go, I'll post it on Facebook. I'm going in 5 minutes. Get your voice recorders ready. I'm going to spill the beans. I'm going to tell you everything I see, what's happening. And my luck, they're going to push me back and say, no, send him back. He's telling too much.
No, I want to make sure we have time to talk about this before we have to go. You have a podcast that you'll be starting back up in January. So all of our friends who love podcasts, I'm sure they would like to know about it and listen to it. And so tell us about that.
Yeah, it's an older podcast. It's called Para Blues. I actually have it on YouTube, where it's the Para Blues Productions and podcast, and I'll put all the feeds on there. But what we're going to do is interview like this. We might just have conversation, have a round table set up, bring some folks in, because right now I'm actually building a mediums room and a media room all in one. So if you were the average Joe like me, and you said, Joe, we want to do a podcast, you can come to the store, and I think I'm only going to do, it's like $10 for 2 hours of your podcast. Get in the room. You're going to have all the microphones, lights, soundboard, and you'll be able to take in phone calls on your podcast. and we'll offer that as part of it. But I'm looking to probably do it on Wednesdays or Thursday nights, just doing 10 p.m. I always say it's a late night with Joe ParaOddities and guests. And I'm not sure if we're going to do video yet. The reason why, at 10 p.m., you get a lot of people going to bed, and they're either reading a book or they're talking. So if we just have them, no video, drop the phone on their chest and listen to the podcast, I think that's where I might go. Again, nobody wants to see this thing on the video anymore. It's getting old.
I tried to refuse. Look what happened to me. She dragged me kicking and screaming. Maybe bribed me with food. I don't know.
Again, don't get me wrong. Video is fun. People get to associate face with the name. But this is something where we'll talk it's almost like an Art Bell type of show. If anyone remembers Coast to Coast Radio with Art Bell, and he would talk about the craziest things, and that's where I want to go. So some nights we might talk about like the Jersey Devil, and we'll just talk like a round table, what it was, bring up some recordings, and try to bring maybe someone in from Jersey who has seen it.
This could be like Joe's Para bedtime stories.
Yeah,
really common. You have a good voice for that. You can do like the bedtime, the adult bedtime stories.
Yeah, well, that was the whole thing. And again, there'll be a button there where you can just press it and call in too. So if you wanted to chime in from the comfort of your own bed, you could actually call in live to the show. It does make a difference, though, because when I put it on YouTube, I got to make sure I say not live anymore, because that phone will ring. They think the show is happening live, which is fun. I'll pick it up and say, oh, sorry, the show is over, but I'll take your call. What do you want to talk about? And I love doing that. It just makes it fun. So that's one of the things. And again, the other one is taking it on the road, doing the live broadcasting of paranormal research. And that's going to be all through this StreamYard.
Well, if you ever make it back to Ohio, I got a couple places I can show you.
Yeah, probably March
and
April. I'm taking a little road trip through Ohio, Pennsylvania, and I'm going to explore and have some fun. I'm thinking even May, because I know in Ohio it gets a little warmer than Buffalo. In March and April, we have a lake we got to deal with.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, depending on where in Ohio and the time of year, because Lake Erie is pretty awful to our eastern side up there by the coast, but the western, it's not so bad, because I think Michigan blocks some of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a shop that I can probably take it to. I'm sure Paul will have no problems. There's a whole woods area.
I've been trying to get there too, so we might have to make this a thing. Make it it's hard enough to plan with two people. We'll throw 3 in and see what. Plus the shop owners and the woods owner, but like it would be cool. It would be like we haven't worked together in like a really long time, so that would be fun too.
Yeah, I'm all about that. I'm all about working together with people. To me, that makes it so much fun, because you get the different personalities, the different approaches, and sometimes with the two coming together, it's like, boom, there it is, and it opens up to something amazing. So yeah, I like to roll. I like to do public ghost hunts too, where I'll take 10 people and we'll roll in a location just to give them the opportunity. But yeah, if you can check out the Para Blues podcast and productions on YouTube. I do a series called, and this is one of my favorites, called Haunted Journals. And again, it's just like I did one on the Van Horn Mansion, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, and it's like automated. It's animated, and the only way I can probably show you is just through like here, where, as you can see here, it's just animated. I tell ghost stories of the location that I did a live broadcast on. And it's got a narrated voice on it. And it's like having a book in front of you, turning the pages. I did one on the Fitzgerald. I did one on the Forsyth Tavern and the history. And it's been going pretty good. I actually might make these into small books and just hand them out and say, enjoy the book. I actually had a school download from podcast for the kids to watch it during Halloween. And it was kind of cool. So that's something I like to do too. And then like AI helps me with the animation on it and everything like that. And you just take a picture and I'll create it into a painting. I like doing that. And then I got a British narrator. That's a voice that'll narrate it for me. Kind of cool.
That's really cool.
Nice. So
we used to have to do that the hard way, but
now I still love filming. Don't get me wrong. I'll go out and I'll film a short story. I can film anything. I can film a story about going from my front door to the mailbox. And I will tell you an amazing story it was going from there to there. I just love it. I just love doing stuff like that.
So your Para Blues is on YouTube. Is it something they can listen on like iTunes or anything like that? Or is it only on YouTube?
It will be on, I think Spotify is going to take it, and Beancast, is it? I'm not sure what that one was. It'll be on multiple platforms.
Okay.
It'll be on multiple. I'm in the process of setting it up. I had a couple like Facebook networks that wanted it, and everyone wants the rights to it. And I'm like, no, it's here to share it. Let's all enjoy it. So once we get all that narrowed down, we'll start getting them out there. And it's a lot of fun to do. It's this conversation. I love talking to people. People are fascinating, just fascinating.
Yeah, it's, I enjoy being a home health aide because I love the stories that my little old ladies would tell me and just watching them light up. But then like, I remember Mrs. Beale sitting on her front porch in her little glider rocker telling me how she was so naughty when she was younger because she would sneak out and go dancing. And I'm like, the naughtiness back then compared to what kids do now, and like night and day. And I'm like, that's adorable that you are so bad for sneaking out to go dancing,
I didn't button my top button. It's my collarbone.
Can you imagine filming her when she's telling this story? Hearing that, and people would love to hear that.
Yeah.
See, I love that. That is, you're very lucky to get that out of people.
I'm not a big record, video filming person, but that's one of my things I love about photography is, one, it started because of my medical stuff. It was a way for me to remember my good days or things that I went to go do when I couldn't do them anymore. And then I really love taking all those candid things that people, whether it's an investigation or a family party or just like something, I like keeping all those like unexpected moments that people later on, they're like a really cool memory that people like they remember, but they kind of forgot how fun it was. And it's like, I don't know. I just love having those things. I'm like the documenter of the whole family and all my friends. Everybody just knows I'm going to be taking random pictures of random things at any point in time for someday down the road. But it's just kind of cool.
Wow. Yeah, it's capturing life. You're actually.
People suck. We don't have them printed anymore. Everything's digital. So when the networks crash, right, we're going to lose that stuff. But I have way too much to print everything. I don't have that kind of money.
Get solid state hard drives. Make sure they're solid state. Put them on and throw them in a drawer. There's no moving parts. They'll last a good 30 to 40 years on there.
That's what I try to do every once in a while. I like take a day and I just like transfer everything off of cards and put them on a hard drive. And
that's
when
cool.
I remember.
I would love to go out and just film one day. We should just take a journey and walk through Lewiston and just get the history of Lewiston. Go to the old Fort Niagara, get the history of that and incorporate it and make it a day shoot. And it's like telling your daily story, what you did. That's what people want to hear and see. There's too much haunted stories. You know what I mean? Like everyone wants to be Zach Bagan and they want to go out and do things like that. I always say, be yourself.
Right. I get this all the time, like my stories and my healing experiences and like not just paranormal stuff, but like my childhood and all these things. And I always think, does anybody really care? Like, and that's something I struggle with. Like I journal these things. People tell me to write books or I should talk about these things. And I don't want, like, I just feel like, why do people really care about that? But then I find myself watching other people's things going, oh, that's so cool. I didn't know that about so-and-so. And
Yeah,
So
you got to do it.
it's-
You should do it. You should do it. Get yourself a GoPro. We all have the phones now.
Yeah.
These are some of the best cameras out there.
Yep.
And just let's go film, tell a story. And I used to do the 48-hour film festival.
Yes.
And that's when it was a challenge with a film. You had to cut it, edit it in all 48 hours, go film it, write it, do everything. And you had to submit it. And it couldn't be more than whatever it was, 8 minutes, 7 minutes. Now we should call it the 12-hour film festival because it's so easy to do.
Right.
But I agree. My son loves photography, and he's right now in St. Bonaventure, and he's one of the senior photographers. And he's only a
I
freshman.
love that.
And he loves photography. I get out there and he'll get these shots. I'm just in awe because I'm seeing it through his eye.
Right.
So when you tell your story, you're telling it through your eye. And that's where people find it fascinating.
I love it. Like when I do photo competitions and stuff, it's not for me about like awards and stuff. I love going to see like everybody's different perspective. You could have everybody, I mean, even with paranormal stuff, right? You can have everybody in the same room, but everybody's gonna have a different experience or a different vision of things. And it's really cool. That fascinates me, how the human brain and our energy does that.
Absolutely. I think you ladies have hit it on the head. A great show you have here, by the way.
Oh,
really
I'm
good.
so happy you joined us.
Yeah.
So I love doing this stuff. I can talk for hours, so you better shut me off.
Well, we can do it again.
I mean, I think, there's so much we could talk to you about. So if you're interested in joining us again, like we would love to have you.
I'd love to be on.
Maybe I'll have to pop in the shop one day and we can video together. We can.
I don't know why the banner
Why
keeps
not?
popping off.
We can have in-person coffee and talk.
There you go. I always have coffee on. Always on.
But guys, please check out Joe's Parablues podcast that will be starting back up in January. And I believe you kind of hinted that the old ones are up there if people wanted to go listen to them.
They can watch some of the old ones and a lot of fun stuff. But more, it's going to just January is the key month. That's the month where it really goes forward. And you'll see a lot coming out, a lot of content. Again, it's old man content, so don't worry.
They can check out your webpage. I'm going to put it up again. It's acting like it's got a timer on it.
Yeah, it's not letting me post links again. I tried to send Melanie. Well, I see you put my information up there, but I tried to send the website for me and a phone number too, and it didn't let me do that. So.
But paranormaloddities.com, Joe's website, all of his information, and it's gone again. But I'm assuming when you have your little boxes again, like it'll be announced on the website.
Yep.
So if you're interested in one of those, let Joe know. And if you're not local to New York to walk in and pick it up, get a hold of Joe to see about having it shipped. Unless you want to take a road trip to New York.
Hey, can't hurt, right?
You take a road trip, I will come visit any of you at his shop while you're picking stuff up. If I'm home. If I'm in New York State at the time.
Thank you, Melanie, reminding friends to like and share. The more the merrier. Well, thanks guys for joining. Thank you, Joe, for taking time out of your day to visit with us. And we hope everybody comes and follows you because your Facebook, right? Is Joe Paranormal Oddities?
Yeah, it's Joe ParaOddities is my business as personnel, and then you can go to Paranormal Oddities and venue is the store Facebook page, and I post all the events and all the fun stuff there too, and Instagram. I'm getting better at this.
I'm so bad with it. You guys are both so techie with everything, and I'm just like, I'm over here like kind of wanting to go back to being Amish, though I do kind of enjoy having a toilet and a hot shower, but I'm like, a lot of it I could just do without.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that lifestyle. I tell you, if I can go back, I would too.
Yeah.
I'm
just like garden, be on the tractor, be outdoors, or sit at the computer. And I'm like such a outdoorsy. I don't know. Yeah. I'm an old fuddy-duddy, is what I am.
Oh, I agree. 100%. There's nothing like nature and doing your thing in peace.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I do like technology in that I want to listen to my murder shows while I'm crocheting or crocheting. It's spelled crocheting. I say that. Oh, I need my technology for my murder shows.
And those are fascinating, aren't they?
You got me hooked on them in Arizona when we were driving around all over Tucson. And it was like we spent like literally weeks just listening to murder shows, and it didn't get old.
Yeah, no. It only, I mean, I will say when it comes to the podcasting of the murder shows, you notice like one of them will put out a certain type of event or killer or whatever. And then within weeks, everybody else is suddenly doing that same case. And I'm like, come on, guys. Like, unfortunately, there's enough murder happening that you don't
Right.
have to repeat.
Pick something new. Be original.
Yeah.
One of my
That's-
neighbors, when I was redoing my porch a couple years ago, I was out there like stripping all the paint and old stain off and whatever. I think it's called My Favorite Murder, right? It was the two girls that did it. So I had that on. One of my neighbors was over just talking to me, standing at the porch. All of a sudden, he just stops and he goes, "Are they talking about somebody getting killed? Is this murders?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's called My Favorite Murder." And the look on his face was just so like, what the hell? My neighbor's just out here like, scraping paint off of her porch listening to murder podcasts.
No, there's some fun psychology about it, about why women are so fascinated with it. And some of the science and psychology is saying it's like we study and listen so we know what to look for in our safety, be it new relationships, walking to the car from the grocery store and it's 5 o'clock and it's already dark. Like, you learn, those behaviors by listening to them. And I'm like, I never really thought of it that way, but how many times have I joked? Like, yeah. I've watched enough shows, you don't do that. So there's some like subconscious, like learning of, what to keep out for as a safety reason. But
it's true. It's true. And there's always a pattern. Do you notice that? There seems to be this pattern of what to look for in a person. Say, okay, wait a minute. What am I doing here? It's interesting. I like to read those books too and just see how it is. But my luck, I don't want to get involved with that because it'll come to my door probably.
I mean, for a hot minute, I thought about being a profiler out of school, and one of my favorite book characters is, Hannibal Lecter, because he's just so fascinating. And he's that perfect serial killer that he's charming and he wins you over right before he eats you. And reading that.
I hear him eat me with my mitochondrial issues.
And I'm like, I would be that Clarice, because there's a part in the book series where he takes off with her and we never know what happens. And I'm like, that would be my luck. Like, I would get snatched by the killer. And I'm like, I'm just going to read about it and learn about it on the couch, like that's good enough for me.
See, but then you could have a medium do a missing persons case for you and find you.
I've already told you about that potential project where
I actually just finished another missing persons case. We just got some confirmation on that. So as soon as I get permission from the person behind this, there is a project coming out where it's a retired U.S. Marshal who had paranormal, investigations and stuff on the side. But now that they are retired, they are taking their skills from being a U.S. Marshal in investigating cold cases and using Woowoo as well to help try and solve cold cases. And really looking forward to that. It's definitely an overlooked thing. I've worked on quite a few, and it's like you wish you could help more people. It is also really draining and exhausting, honestly, on a whole different level. But it would be nice if it was recognized more, because there's definitely aspects of this that could really help a lot where technology can't.
Yeah. So, kind of in talks with them about maybe doing some sponsorship or something. So as soon as I know it's okay to talk about and name it and everything, I'll see if we can even get them on.
Stay tuned.
Yeah. So that piques not only my curiosity on the paranormal side, but also the murder show side. I mean, it's perfect. I'm in heaven here on that one. But, and
that'll be some great stories, though.
Like, Joe, can we borrow a box for a case?
Sure, you can. Bring it to a location and see if you get them to talk.
Yeah.
And that was one of my biggest fears, is that we were gonna discover what happens some of these locations, because you go to some locations, they said all these people were murdered here, and it's like, do I really want to know?
You can't unknow it, right? Yeah. Once you know it, you can't
Or is it going to be like the Gore orphanage here in Ohio, where supposedly the building did burn down, but it killed all these orphans, blah, blah, blah. No, it didn't. It did burn down, but the orphans had been out of that building for years, but there's this false history narrative
Rumors
to it that are not true. So, or would you find out that, that the spoken history is completely wrong.
Yeah.
And, then you get into the psychological. If people are really hearing kids playing, are they making up because they're expecting to hear it? Type of thing. And it's like, the psychology behind all of this.
Yeah.
Is it for,
I like this. This is interesting. I'm liking this.
So my hamster wheels go in so many directions on so many things, it's on an Indian burial ground. Every bit of land is. Why? Because Native Americans were nomadic.
We took it over. That's why.
That's right.
So because they were nomadic, people die every day. And I'm sure they're not carting that dead body for months and months and months and months back to the other side. Every bit is a burial ground. Stop it.
Yeah.
But it sounds cool.
That's one of my pet peeves too. There are more active areas of it, right? But it's also you could dig in your backyard because it used to not be your yard and find somebody's body. It just is what it is.
Now we went into murder show.
Yeah.
We're in a big Civil War area, Native area, where me and Joe
went
are.
from the Travel Channel, which should really just be a paranormal channel, to Investigation Discovery by digging in the backyard. Who would have thought?
Right.
But all right. Well, Joe, we keep talking, and I know you have some personal business.
You have big things today. We're
Get ready for holiday.
Thank you.
And
I'm excited. It's exciting.
Well, we'll
good
stay
holidays.
in touch and we'll have you back.
Sounds good. Let me know and I'll do it. And if you can't, come down to the store and we can do it there too.
Yeah. You have so much to share with us. I just want to know all the things.
There's so much there. Oh, I love it.
I'm already plotting me driving the 4 hours. And I hear you, Melanie. Kayla is at least coming to Georgia.
I am coming to Georgia, so get a hold of me.
One of us will
I've got a couple days to reroute my whole thing, and if you want those things,
I could feel Melanie typing in, when are you coming to Georgia? As I said, let me drive for 4 hours. We could do, a Wednesday Woowoo there with you in person, show people the store and stuff, if you're okay with that.
Always okay. Open door policy.
I don't have time to stop at the cemetery or do any investigating stuff or mediumship, but I can make a quick stop. So
Melanie promises to be nice while you're there. No, don't be nice. Give her hell. Give her hell.
Hey. How about a middle ground?
But well, thanks everybody. Thanks again, Joe, for joining.
Thank you. Pleasure's all mine.
Yeah, and we will see everybody next time. So
yeah.
Be good.
Bye, guys.
Warm.
Have a good day.
Bye-bye.